Hey now everyone, Matt Haywood here from the Star Wars Time Show, and I'm here. I'm doing a remote, that's why my voice sounds a little crappy, using a crappy mic. But anyways, we're here to recap the Easter eggs and Star Wars franchise references that were made in Star Wars Resistance S1E20, which is titled No Escape Part 1. Now, there are only 3 of them, and 2 of them are kind of weak, but we had a solid one, a very solid one for Star Wars The Force Awakens. So let's go ahead and get down with that Easter egg breakdown. Alright, so up first we have a scene playing out where Kaz is explaining to Niku that, he's from Hosnian Prime and they're going to get some people to come and save them, obviously because they're locked down on the Colossus. To which Niku replies like, hey Kaz, what are you talking about? You think you're rich? Your family's rich? Are you having delusions of grandeur? Which we know is that's a reference to a line that Han says to Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi when they're locked up in Jabba's pit, when Chewbacca is explaining to Han the plan that he, Luke, Leia, the droids, everyone had to break Han out of Jabba's palace. So it was a nice little nod to the Return of the Jedi, if anything else. Alright, next up, and again, I am stretching big time. I feel like I've been stretching this whole entire second half of Resistance. But we get a scene in here where Niku's in basically the Master Control Center for the Colossus. And he's in there with Cal and Isla, and when they look up, they realize that, hey, the Colossus has a hyperdrive. Yes, hyperdrives, we've heard them referenced throughout Star Wars lore, so yes, it kind of fits for making this list, but it was more of a plot revelation than anything else. Not only can the Colossus be a underwater station, a floating station, but it's also a space station. Okay, and finally we get the best Easter egg of probably the second half, because this is a full-on Easter egg. But we get General Hux' speech on Starkiller Base as he is rallying the First Order to essentially commit mass genocide and blow up the entire Hosnian system, Hosnian Prime, the New Republic, everything. So we get to see that through Kaz's eyes, and it's kind of sad because that's Kaz's planet. Kaz comes from Hosnian Prime, his family's on Hosnian Prime, his dad's a senator, so he essentially sees his entire family wasted. So yes, a great Easter egg, albeit a very sad one. Alright people, so that does it for No Escape Part 1. There's just 3, and really only one of them was a great Easter egg. The others were just kind of light references that I had to creatively pull from that galaxy that is so far, far away under my pants. Yes, I'm talking about my butthole. That's right, people. But I try to entertain. I try to come up with stuff that people can consider Easter eggs, references, whatever you want to call it. Either way, that was it for No Escape Part 1. We've got one more episode to go in Star Wars Resistance Season 1. So please come back, because we're going to recap those Easter eggs. We're going to do a review. We're going to recap the plot, because we do all things Star Wars on Star Wars Time, right? There's always time for Star Wars Time. All right, my friends, may the Force be with you, always.